I think the main issue you'd have with this bike is it just makes you want to like ride like a 0 to 100. I'm super impressed. I'm so happy that it hasn't disappointed. If I could only have one bike and I had to spend less than 20,000, it'd probably be one of these, but the SP version. I have been waiting for this for a very long time. Today I have the Yamaha MT09 and I'm pumped about it. So I've never ridden one of these bikes. I'm going to ride it for the first time today. I haven't taken it on the motorway or twisties or anything yet. I've literally just brought it to this walk-around spot. So this is a used model, just the standard edition. Does have a few modifications to it, so I don't think they come with this cowling, if that's what you call it. It has Evotech brake levers, which I do like. I have those on my Aprilia. It also has some frame sliders. It has an Evotech tail tidy on it. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as I can tell. So I did ride an XSR 900, the older model, a couple of months ago. And honestly, it didn't really do anything for me. I think there was something not right about it because it had like a really cheap eBay exhaust on it and I don't think it was tuned for it. So it was just really flat and disappointing, if I'm honest. But this one, engine-wise at least, seems to be standard. I don't think it's been mapped or anything, and it certainly has the factory exhaust on it. I do really want to try the MT09 SP for the extra suspension and everything, but so far just riding it here to this car park, it actually feels really nice. I'll put the specs up on the screen so you can see them for yourself, and if you want to check this bike out, it is at Cycle Spot on the north shore of Auckland if you want to check it out. This one has the quick shift up and down. I thought actually that was only the SP model, but sure enough, we do have quick shift up and down. I really like the look of this bike, like the tank. I like how it kind of flares out. It just has quite an aggressive look to it. I'm stoked for this. I think this is one of the best value, like middleweight sports bikes you can get, honestly. I'm not 100% sold on the front of this bike yet, although it does look a lot better with that front cowling to me. It looks a little bit unfinished without that. So this, I would definitely be doing that to my bike if this was mine. Before we get going here, we'll do a little exhaust note test, factory exhaust. All right, let's get it going. Sounds good. Checking the lights out there, has that little T light. I like how the Evotech tail tidy makes the indicators kind of go up in a V a little bit, and then you've got that LED headlight. Whether you like the looks of it or not, it's up to you. I'm just going to start out in the most aggressive mode, so we've got it in drive mode 1. We will try the others out, but let's get into it. So this LCD screen is quite small, but you know, it does the trick. It's got all the information you need. 2200 Ks on this bike. Even in drive mode 1, I did notice driving over here, it's a little bit snatchy in mode 1. But I mean, that's the most aggressive mode out of all 4 that you have. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 being like slow rain mode and 1 being the sportiest you can get. And yeah, it's actually not too bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I expected it to be a little bit more snatchy, you know, and that's all good. Ergonomics are good. For my height, I'm 6'1", about 32, 33 inch inseam, and it feels a lot more substantial than the MT07 at least. That bike feels quite small to me, whereas this one feels like, I don't want to say a grown-up's bike, but you know what I mean, it just feels a little bit bigger. So I can get my both feet down quite easy, and I have a very slight bend in my leg, so it's not too bad, you know. The bars feel really good. I'm very upright, very like supermoto position. This model doesn't have cruise control or anything, but you know, for the money you pay for this bike, I reckon this is easily one of the best value bikes you can get. It's such a great all-round commuter slash fun hoon bike. If you could only have one motorcycle and you didn't want like something, a leader bike or anything, I think it's a really good option. One of the first mods you do to this bike is bar end mirrors. These bikes look fantastic with bar end mirrors. Urban riding, very, very comfortable. The seat's nice and wide. I like that I don't feel like I'm slipping forward or anything. It feels quite natural. Love the sound of it. The quick shift is really nice and smooth, smoother than my Aprilia for sure. Getting quite a lot of airbox sound, like induction noise, which is nice. I'm really looking forward to getting this thing out on the Twisties. It doesn't have the best suspension, but Yamaha have made some good changes to them. Brakes on this are alright. Oh yeah, no, they're pretty good actually. Really nice down quick shifts. Their auto blipper works well. I love that it comes with an auto blipper as standard on this base model. Oh man, this feels so much better than the XSR 900 I rode. There must have been something wrong with it. I never made a video on that one because I wasn't making videos at the time. But it was such an awesome looking one. Like the guy had done, it was a used one, and had done a really amazing job like with the styling of it. And it was that really nice black and gold vintage looking color. I think it was like a limited run for 2020 or 2021 or something. But it just felt slow as, real slow. So yeah, I think the cheap exhaust he had on it and not having it remapped just put like this huge flat spot in it. Whereas like, this feels way better. Heaps better. This is what I expected, like roll-on power-wise. We'll do a timed motorway test with this one. But roll-on power-wise, it feels so much better. I'm glad that it was just that specific XSR 900 I rode. Oh yeah, brakes aren't fantastic. They feel a little bit spongy. I did just jump off my Aprilia, so so much more power. This thing is awesome. On this bumpy section, you know, it doesn't feel too bad actually. It doesn't feel too lumpy or anything. Oop. Right, this bike is super quick. Definitely doesn't feel like super amazing in the corners. Not terrible. Could be undersprung for my weight as well. I'm 100 kilos. I think I want to do this road again and just check it out. This would be a good place for a 0 to 100 test, so we'll do that too. So this is what a 0 to 100, oh the turning circles are reasonable. Not too bad. So this is 0 to 100 in drive mode 1. And I couldn't even get full throttle on that. That was just wanting to lift the front wheel up. Let's try that again. Okay. Test 2, 0 to 100. Yeah, that's a quick bike. That's awesome. That feels really, really good actually. I'm so happy it's not disappointing. So a note then, if you put a cheap exhaust on your XSR 900 or MT09 and don't get it tuned, probably not going to feel great. There's a few gravel patches around here. Okay, so suspension feels good. Doesn't feel great. It's like medium. you know, like, it's okay, it does the job. I would definitely want to try the MT09 SP out before I'd be spending any money on this. But yeah, it just doesn't, fuck, this thing loves to wheelie. It pulls, man. It's hard to behave on this bike. So hard to behave on this. Okay, so it just doesn't feel like quite as planted as some of the other bikes I've ridden, but all those other bikes I speak of are like a more premium build, and you know, they have more premium components and at a more premium price. You know, this thing's what, like 18 grand New Zealand or something, brand new, and like you still get up and down quick shifter, you get LED headlights, you get a nice LCD screen, even though it's small, but it does the trick. But yeah, for the extra money, like, it would cost you more to get really nice suspension set up on this bike than to just buy the MT09 SP. So for me, I'd just be going for the MT09 SP. I can tell you straight away, I prefer this engine over the Street Triple RS for sure. It feels quite a bit more powerful. I'd be putting, I don't think it has a steering dampener on it either. I'd put a steering dampener on this, steering stabilizer on it. I think I like the sound of this engine better too. Even with the stock exhaust, with that airbox sound, it sounds so good. Very easy to flick around. I'll loop back around and do these couple of turns again, because this is a really nice tarmac surface. Okay, let's spin around. Okay, let's see what this thing's like in the twisties. Clearly hit a bird. Okay, I think the thing is that we have so many bad roads here in New Zealand, but like on the roads, on those first twisties, the road surface was quite uneven and there was like a little bit of like gravelly crap all over the road, whereas on those corners, you know, the tarmac's really nice and smooth, there's no like holes or anything, and it felt way more planted. It just comes a little bit unbalanced when you're in corner and the road might not be in the perfect of condition, where I think that's where the MT09 SP would come into it, because you know, that Öhlins suspension is just such a huge upgrade that I gotta do those again. No one coming. Yeah, see that bumpy bit, just a little bit unsettled. Just a tiny, it's not bad, like it's better than the MT07, but just if you hit shit in the middle of the corner, it's just not as settled. I know I'm talking a lot about suspension, but I mean, it's really the main difference between this and the SP, so I think it's pretty important. And I mean, let's be honest, suspension on a motorbike in general is pretty important. So I think if you were on like ultimate budget and maybe if you were a lighter rider, that would make a difference. Like if you were like 70-75 kilos, this suspension would be better for sure. I think I'm just a bit too fat for this one. Yeah, I think half the problem is I'm just spoiled by my Aprilia, honestly. My Aprilia feels quite a bit faster, but that bike's ridiculous. This one is like still too much power for the road, but it's a lot of fun, you know. But like, you can commute on this way easier than you could on like a TUONO V4. I'm super impressed. I'm so happy that it hasn't disappointed me. If I could only have one bike and I had to spend less than 20,000, it'd probably be one of these, but the SP version. And the elephant in the room when you're buying a bike like this as opposed to like an Italian bike, servicing is like way cheaper, parts are way cheaper, and they're just more, you know, they just are more reliable. I haven't had any issues with my Aprilia, but it's an Italian superbike. They just are not as reliable as like a Yamaha or something. Let's see what this thing's like on the motorway anyway. I'm not even going to bother doing a 20 to 100 pull because we were done a 0 to 100 and it was about as much as I could get out of it without doing a backflip. I think for most people this bike is going to be like way more than anybody needs. I think the main issue you'd have with this bike is it just makes you want to like ride like a f***wit. I'm having quite a bit of trouble containing myself right now, but I'm very aware that I'm on YouTube and this isn't my bike. So as we get off the motorway here, I'll give you guys my final thoughts. I think this bike comes down to value for money and like performance, the fun factor. This bike has all the fun factor, like all of it, and because it's an MT series of bike, there's like so much customizing you can do to them. Check this quick shifter out, how smooth it is. Nothing. Yeah, this bike is all about the fun factor. Super fun, super torquey, like really accessible power everywhere, and it just gets better and better the more you ring it out. And then you take into account the price and everything else about it. It's like, why would you not buy one of these apart from like all the tickets you're gonna get? Right, done. MT09 2021 model, the new series either way, and I love it. My final reaction to it, but yeah, my final thoughts on it is I'd be buying the SP. Just spend that little bit of extra money and get the SP. Get that Olean suspension. Huge upgrade over the MT07 if you've like just got your full license. Sick. Bit of a ramble on this one. But mind you, you guys said that in my last video you like the ramble videos. So here's another one. Highly recommend, guys. Like I said, I'm super stoked that it wasn't disappointing. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.